Hello, good evening everybody, welcome back to Forever United TV, live from a sunny, hot Manchester this evening, bringing you completely up to date with all of your Manchester United stories on and off the pitch. We're talking about cut price deals for Jaden Sancho and Rasmus Hojlund. Is it the full-on Italian job going down with Manchester United? Is that the destination for several Man United players, it seems, in the out list this summer? When I talk about that, David Ornstein has also been talking about Manchester United's plans, the transfer plans. I'm going to bring up something, because I am the geek that I am, that Ornstein said, which is very crucial in this transfer window that nobody's picking up on. I'm going to get into the details of what Ornstein actually said. On top of that, what Romano has also said with everything going on right now. We've got plenty to discuss. A decision on Mason Mount also. What I touched on earlier on with Ruben Amorim's demands and what he wants to happen this pre-season. I know a lot of you have seen that video from earlier on. If you haven't, you can go and watch it after this one. I'll touch on some bits from it and get some live comments as well. Talking of live comments, please do get your live comments into that comment section there. I think I said comment about 8 times then, so you might as well just comment then. And let me know your thoughts on everything going on. Welcome along, everyone. Hope you've had a fantastic day. It's getting hot out there, isn't it? England's about to be hit by a massive heat wave. The transfer window is hotting down. No, it's not. It seems to have hit a bit of a brick wall. And negotiations, I have found in most of these transfer stories that are floating around, not just for Man United, but for everybody around the Premier League in particular, are becoming rather difficult. The situation with Victor Gyökeres, for instance, as well, that's and how that's completely imploded at the moment as to what is happening in their future. Comments from Sesko's agent. Does that actually mean that they are now fully in communication with Arsenal, leaving Gyökeres available? But apparently, according to sources, Man United are 8th on the list of priorities for Victor Gyökeres, because all the other teams are in the Champions League. It's all about the Champions League. United are not in it. And we have found ourselves in a position where we need to sell players. Selling players is a must for Manchester United, it would seem. Now, Ornstein has touched on that. Like I said, I'll bring more on that in a moment. But past Brian and Bumo, United need players out. We need them out fast. I did a show earlier on, a video about Ruben Amorim telling the board that he doesn't want to take Garnacho, doesn't want to take Sancho, Marcus Rashford, or Antony on the tour. Now, that, I think, is right, in a way, and then kind of a problem for Man United, because it gives us a month exactly to move players on, so that doesn't become an issue. Now, obviously, other clubs are not going to know of what's going on behind the scenes at Manchester United, but if they look at Manchester United's travelling squad to, say, the USA, when we travel out on the 23rd of July, and Sancho and Rashford and Garnacho and Antony are not on that plane, are they seen as problems? Does that devalue the players? Have United got another problem there? Well, work is continuing before that date, and I think that's where we start the show tonight regarding Jaden Sancho. We've got 2 different stories to bring up on the Sancho situation right now. A good one and a bad one, and that's Manchester United are in discussions with Napoli over a deal to take Jaden Sancho. In fact, Jaden Sancho was given the green light and the go-ahead to move verbally to Napoli. Napoli's stance on this is that Sancho has to drop his wages. They're also talking to Danadoi from Bologna, and there is rumours just come out, just in the last 10 minutes in fact, that a verbal agreement has been made on personal terms for Danadoi from Bologna to Napoli. So this is another, I don't think it's going to be a mega money deal, which is why Napoli are still open. Now, Romano has said that Jaden Sancho is keen on moving to Napoli, and Napoli are also very interested if the deal is right. If the deal is right, they are going to be patient with Jaden Sancho in this situation. They will wait it out. They may be open to a deal later down in the window, but as it stands at the moment, Napoli, even though Sky Italy and Sky are reporting that there is a potential offer on the table here, 21 million is what Manchester United want. Apparently, Napoli have put are willing to put an offer in around 20 million for Jaden Sancho. I personally don't think that is real. I'm going to tell you why, because United would probably snatch their hands off if that was offered. Now, by all accounts, Sky Italy and Sky are saying that Jaden Sancho is willing to make this move. If he is willing to make this move under the information that has been given, which is that they will only be able to afford him if he drops his wages significantly, then you would think this would move forward. I just don't think it will. Napoli, I think, are going to play hardball here. If they're going for a die, then you're probably looking at Jaden Sancho only going to Napoli if it's dirt cheap and if the wages are right. He needs to fit their wage structure, and obviously Manchester United are going to sell him cheap, and I think Napoli will wait it out until United get desperate. That's the word from Fabrizio Romano on this. And what we're saying here is, personally, I feel on Jaden Sancho alone right now, I think he wants to make this move. I think he wants to get over to Italy. But again, he's in a position where he doesn't need to actually, he doesn't need to, I don't think, drop his wages. And he knows it, because the loan is what will be pushed, and then he can leave with a big signing on fee for another club next summer. He will do his utmost to try and disrupt Manchester United. He will do everything. Where it's all right, Ruben Amorim saying that he doesn't want any of these players on the tour to the USA. It's all right for us, and it's all right for him. But when he goes knocking on the door of Omar Barada or Jason Wilcox, they're just going to tell him, look, if you don't want him, these players on the tour, that's fine, that's all right, but we still have to try and get rid of these players. We still have to try and move these players on, and it's not helping the fact that they're not playing football. So I think there will be a crossroads at that if we don't deal with a Sancho situation. But Napoli know that Sancho doesn't want to drop his wages. Sancho's not going to drop his wage demands. He will sit it out all summer long, no problem, and so will Napoli. If he's talking to Napoli, his agent is onto them, and he's saying, look, wait out till the end of the window if you want. Romano has said that Napoli are going to be patient. This is how it will play out in my mind. That United won't get a fee for Jaden Sancho. Nobody will want to pay it because they know that Jaden Sancho won't drop his wages. Nobody can afford Sancho's wages. The only team that can afford his wages are the team that's paying them now, which is Manchester United, because we're contractually obligated to do so. So, I will sit it out. This is if I'm Jaden Sancho right now. Let's get another loan. And when we get a loan, we get the wages I want, because United will have to subsidise them. Then the team I want to go to won't have to pay as much. There's no signing on fee, and they're only paying half of the wages, and that fits them lovely. Then at the end of that season, I will walk away with a big signing on fee to cover all the wages that I am going to lose, because nobody's going to pay me what I'm really worth, which is jack shit. So that signing on fee that I will get will make up the rest of the wages that I won't get anymore, which I was previously on at Manchester United. That's my prediction on this one. So I get excited when I see the story of Jaden Sancho moving and a cut price deal. But unless Manchester United want to actually get Jaden Sancho out the door and lower his price dramatically to try and get this over the line, it's not going to happen. Sancho will go on a free next summer, and United will end up subsidising his wages again this season and getting him out of the door. But that's not the end of it. There's more to come on this one as well, which I'm going to go on to in a moment. But I just want to go through the situation which is developing around Rasmus Hojlund at the moment. So that right now, I feel, is more of a chance of happening than Jaden Sancho. When you go off the stories that are going around, you look at what Romano has said regarding Rasmus Hojlund right now. And this is, for Rasmus Hojlund and his situation, Inter Milan are constantly in touch with Manchester United. They want Rasmus Hojlund. He's the top of their shopping list. Now, they want a loan deal with an option to buy him at the end of the season. That is ideally where Inter Milan are placed. Financially suits them better. And again, this rolls into the department of, can United cut their losses with any of these players and get these players out of the football club to help Ruben Amorim now? Now, they also, according to Fabrizio Romano, would be open to a cheap deal in terms of permanent one, but it has to be the right price. Unfortunately for Manchester United, I don't think that cheap deal equates to around 40 million, which is what United would need to make a small profit. They want to sell the players. They want to sell Sancho. They want to sell Rasmus Hojlund. And like Romano said, they want to make profit so they can move these deals on as quickly as possible. And this is what United have been saying. They've been talking about moving things swiftly on and trying to move things swiftly on. Trying being the key word in that, because it's all right trying, but if you've got a brick wall in front of you with stubborn players brought in from a hierarchy and a recruitment team and management team from yesteryear that had no idea what they were doing, then you're not going to want to move, and you're not going to want to play ball with the normal football rules that every other club in the planet is playing by, apart from Manchester United's idiot-run football club from 2 or 3 years ago. That, unfortunately for us, is what we're dealing with right now. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. Inter Milan will buy Rasmus Hojlund, but it won't be for what Man United want. Can they afford to take the loss? Probably not. In terms of PSR, that will scupper any sort of move for Manchester United. But there is a loan offer on the table right now that Manchester United are actively discussing and considering, apparently, according to Fabrizio Romano. This is where the whole thing starts to get a little bit more interesting, because if there is an option or an obligation, that helps next summer. But what Ornstein has also said on this, and this is the important bit that I was talking about beforehand, is just a little extract from what Ornstein has said regarding everything that's going on with Manchester United. When you speak to English clubs, this is on the Ekitike side of things as well, so he's gone over everything with United, but considering I've just spoken about Sancho and Rasmus Hojlund, we'll go on to this bit from Ornstein, and I want to talk about what I meant by the extra bit from the Sancho loan in a second, from what Ornstein said. You speak to English clubs that they think they could pry Ekitike away for a bit lower than 85 million. Maybe if a club got 80 million with some add-ons or whatever, I don't know how they would structure it, but there is some optimism that it's not quite as high ultimately as Eintracht Frankfurt are letting it be known. Manchester United are exploring doing the Brian and Bumo deal, and he wants to join them. They are very good. They have a very good chance that deal happens, but they're not done yet. So Manchester United's pursuit of Ekitike and Brian and Bumo, covered by David Ornstein there. In a nutshell, basically, confident again that the Brian and Bumo deal will get done. United are getting closer. No updates on that. It's pretty much what we said this morning. Manchester United very, very confident that will get finalised and we can move forward with that deal. But also on the Ekitike one, again, this time a tier one journalist in Ornstein actually saying that price tag doesn't seem to be realistic for Ekitike, and Manchester United will be able to get him cheaper if they can agree a deal. Now, on the outgoing side of things, Ornstein was also asked in this podcast whether Manchester United, after Mbumo, need to sell players to go out and get a striker. And he said, look, first of all, is it priority striker next for Manchester United? His response to that was, it's all on Mbumo at the moment. He's the one attacking player that they want to bring in. In terms of someone else after that, it does look like, from what is being said and everything going on, that United do need to move some players on. But like Ornstein said, and this is the important bit that I wanted to talk about, Ornstein said in that, even if you loan players out, it generates space within the squad and space financially for Manchester United. So, for instance, right now Manchester United are doing 2 deals that they don't need to sell players for. Cunha is in, Brian and Bumo is also done. When we talk about a package, when we talk about a deal for Manchester United being the PSR, it's that whole thing put together. The agent's fees, the contract of the player, and the actual instalments for the transfer fee over whatever length of the contract it is for the player. So, for instance, if Manchester United loaned out Jaden Sancho with the majority of his wages gone, then what does that give Manchester United? It probably brings back, if you say, for instance, you covered half of Jaden Sancho's wages going to Napoli this summer, it would give Manchester United, 5 million freedom in terms of next year's financial fair play PSR room, annual figures. So basically, it gives you 5 million extra to spend in the next window. If you move Rasmus Hojlund on loan, again, you add that to it in terms of what wages you're not paying. Of course, the instalments are still being paid, but what United are doing here is they're gathering all of these wages that Manchester United are taking off the books, and they're putting them together. So what they're paying now is being cut down to make room for more investment coming in. So there you've got Rasmus Hojlund's wages, Jaden Sancho's wages, approximately what you're looking at there, 6 to 7 million you've built up. If someone's paying all of Rasmus's wages, 85 grand, and someone's paying half of Sancho's wages, which approximately works out about 125 to 150, then you're looking at maybe saving about 8 million a year in them 2 deals. If you then manage to get Anthony off the books and the majority of his wages gone, even if you don't sell him, you can imagine what that does then. That brings it over 10 million for Manchester United, more even. And then you're talking about Garnacho and Rashford on top of that. Even if Rashford is loaned out, and what Ornstein is making the point of here is it makes sense that just for this financial year, Manchester United could still manoeuvre players around to bring in a significant signing that the first instalment's payment is on for the next financial year, so from July 1st. So this is why Manchester United are trying to do everything they possibly can to make any tiny little detail count when it comes to selling a player. Loans will still help Manchester United as long as Manchester United negotiates a big chunk of them wages gone, like they did with Anthony and Rashford and Malacia in January. That gave us the room to actually do some business with Matheus Cunha, because that's what we saved. When you look at all of the wages that Manchester United saved, that's one instalment for Cunha. That's what you could balance it off as. If you did the same going into the next financial year with all of these loans out, even if it's 5 loans for these players, you're still going to gather enough money to make a substantial signing for Manchester United. Because we know after next year, how are we going to balance that if we still haven't sold the players? You're going to say, well, Sancho's gone, Maguire's gone, Casemiro's gone. How much wages have you got there? Over $500,000 and more a week. And if you put all that together off United's books, and no instalment payments for Casemiro, no instalment payments for Jaden Sancho anymore on top of that as well, that's how you move on to the next financial year. So United loaning players out is still big in all of this, and it still matters, even if we cannot get transfer fees. Garnacho is the creme de la creme and helps Manchester United really invest in the squad. The 2 goalkeepers obviously are going to be more outgoings. Rasmus Hojlund is a bonus at the moment because he wants to fight for his place in Man United side. But if Inter do a deal with Manchester United, they could raise enough money out of it just to help finance a deal for this year, because United will have room in the next financial year. And if this does all help United get better and we get back into Europe again, then that, I think, is the holy grail, which then blows everything up in the next transfer window, because we've got a lot more money to spend and more money coming in. I think I explained that clearly enough. Well, please do get into the comments and give me your thoughts on this, everybody. We're getting into quite a bit tonight on this. Please give the video a like as well, everybody, if you have just joined us. Nobody cares for the Club World Cup. Honestly, I've not watched one game. I don't give a crap. So the shows are running alongside it. Is anybody actually watching that crap right now? And that's honestly, that's my honest opinion of it. It really does. It doesn't appeal to me one bit. I think it is a get-out tournament for the Super League, and I just can't be arsed watching it. Pretty much like the whole American crowd right now out there. Anyway, give the video a like. Make sure you have subscribed as well. We do things different on this channel. It's not just the obvious. We like to go into detail. And like I said, then, I am a little bit of a geek. So when you're trying to balance it out, I understand what Ornstein is saying in this. United can still move things around, even with the loaning players out. But they are going to, first of all, well, they've got chance, try, like Romano said, to sell these players, because it does make it easier for them. And it fast-tracks a lot more of the deals that we would want to make this summer. But still, expect, I think, another 2 players in after Brian and Bumo is what I think is going to happen to Man United. I don't think we're going to be able to overly spend unless we get good money for Garnacho. That will change a lot in Man United's transfer window, an awful lot. Let's get some comments in on this one, everybody. Please pile in. Problem with Sancho is that he thinks he's better than he actually is. I think he will sit his contract out so he can get a signing on fee. Like I said, that's how I see it playing out right now. It makes sense. He'll get his wages for 1 more year, then he'll get a big signing on fee, which will cover the fact that he won't get them wages ever again because he's shit. That is what I think Jaden Sancho is waiting for. Sad, isn't it, really? How a player would drop down that far. But if United can sell him, I don't think it's going to be for the 20 million. I think you're going to have to drop right down. I actually don't think United will do it either. I think they'll end up just loaning him back out again because they won't want to take the low fee. And they know he's gone either way. Would they extend that contract so they could get something out of a deal? Oh, it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. That won't go down well with the fans. It really won't. especially now we know that there is 20,000 Manchester United fans going to home games this season that are going to be charged approximately about £16 more a ticket on average to go and watch Manchester United this season after the club announced the ticket bracketing system in terms of the payment and what them tickets are. Different grades. I'm sure you would have seen it on Must earlier on. The Athletic released it and the BBC also. So if you do extend the contract of Jaden Sancho, you can imagine what this fan base is going to do. It's going to be looking for blood. And unfortunately, it's going to be Manchester United owners' blood for them, anyway, for their sake. But hey, let's get some more in. Let's see what else we've got in here. And Bumo, not done yet. Or have I had a seizure and missed it? No, he is not done, Andy. Not yet. Manchester United are still negotiating the better deal for them, is the word coming out of that deal. No updates yet, except it is getting closer. I know that's not what you want to hear. I'm with you, but just bear with it. As long as he's there for pre-season, that's what I will accept. Nothing past that, I'll start panicking and worrying if it gets any longer. And again, we have to surely get a better update this week on Bumo, because we are now edging closer to the end of this month and pre-season starting. The last thing I want to see is Bryan Bumo turning up for Brentford training for the start of this season. That would start to worry me a little bit, because this has gone on a while now. I don't know what else we're looking at. I saw the podcast, and Frankfurt want 50% up front for Ekitike as the replacement has a release clause to be paid in full. As the replacement has a release clause to be paid in full, says Tom there, as in the player that they're looking to sign. They've got to replace Mamouche and Ekitike, so they've got a substantial amount of money to spend. Considering they're in the Champions League as well, Frankfurt, I think there's a bit of bluffing going on here as well. And I think United will take their time with Frankfurt, and there is no rush at all in terms of getting this deal done for Frankfurt. But in terms of Ornstein and what he did say on the Ekitike deal, I don't know what Manchester United are going for him, Ekitike. It seems that there's been inquiries. That's kind of their job, to be asking and understanding the conditions of the deal, and maybe being interested. That doesn't mean they're going to do it. Ornstein there pretty much saying that Manchester United are discussing what the conditions are for Ekitike. There is interest there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing it. Again, sorry, not what you want to hear, not the significant news you was hoping for, but I'm only relaying what's going on right now. We said this at the start of this window. We are going to have to be patient, people, and I know you want more. I do as well. I want things to be moving, but we're still in June, and that's all I'm holding on for. Ultimately, at the end of the day, as long as we have these players turning up against Arsenal on that opening day, a lot of people will say that will do. Not quite for me. I would like these players in pre-season so Ruben can drill them and get everything that he wants out of them and get that message across. That's what I want to see more than anything anyway. In terms of needing sales, this is what Ornstein actually said that I was alluding to. If Man United Bryan Bumo, do we need to make sales after that? Afterwards, you get the impression they need to sell. So players such as Marcus Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, Rasmus Hojlund, whether that's be a loan or permanent, which also frees up squad space for a striker, Tiro Malacia, Anthony, etc. Suddenly you find yourself in a different financial world than you are now. Like I said, that's what he's on about. If them players are loaned or sold, quite a lot there. Squad space, wages space, different financial world. Wages do count. So if United can take a chunk out of these big players' wages, even if they are loaned out, it will make a difference to help United bring another player in. Because like we've said, next season, then wages are going to be slashed completely. Because Maguire's gone, Casemiro's gone, Jaden Sancho's gone, 100% guaranteed. Unless for some crazy reason Man United want to renew Harry Maguire's contract. I love him, but one more year is enough. 6 years, I think, is plenty for Harry. And again, it is a massive help for Manchester United financially if all three of them are gone. Even if we don't get a figure for them, or we don't sell them, or get a transfer fee, then wages are so big, it saves Manchester United an absolute fortune. You are talking Sancho's, Casemiro's and Maguire's wages off the books. You are well over £20 million saved in Manchester United. Nearly 30 million when you add it up, in fact, I feel it's at, with all of them wages gone. Anthony will be gone by then as well. You can start to see what this does. And if United are structuring their wages in better terms going forward, then this is how Manchester United change. So it is still significant this season alone to get players in, even if United just get them off the books for a season, or partially off the books for a season. It makes a huge contribution to what Man United need to do. And that, I think, is what everybody just needs to recognise as well. We cannot just get rid of players if they don't want to leave. I've said this along, like, I would love these players to be gone. I want them gone. United need to take the hit, take the cut. But maybe I don't know the exact financial situation where they can't do it, which is why when we looked at the deals, we might not be able to get good deals for players in terms of sales. But I'll tell you one thing Ineos have done good at, that's getting good loan deals and what these clubs are actually paying Manchester United. We actually managed to make a profit on Antony for that last 6 months that he had of last season with Real Betis. With the bonuses that were added in, how much they were paying of his wages. Jaden Sancho, with what Chelsea were paying and what United were contributing as well. Yes, it's not ideal and it's not what we want to hear, but it does still help Manchester United. It does go a long way. And if we have to do that to get through this summer, to help Ruben, then that's what Man United will do. But going back to what I just said again, I'm sorry it sounds like I'm repeating myself on it. Romano has actually said, and don't worry, it isn't just giving up and doing the loans. We are actually going to try and make these sales happen first of all. It's not like we're just going to give up and that's it. No, we are going to try and make the sales come through first, do what we can. But when it comes to the crunch, if we can't, like I said before in that video that I've done, Ruben Amorim saying to the board that these players are not going to be featuring for Manchester United, they will loan these players out. They will get rid of them and get their wages off the books. And that, as sad as it sounds for us, is the reality right now. So, yes, that's where we're actually at. Let's get some comments in here on everybody. Gyökeres only does well in Portugal because he is has physical advantages. Take them away when he comes into the Premier League. In terms of the Gyökeres situation, just an update on that. We did a piece earlier on where I was talking actually on Football Talks and on the FUTV video at midday about Victor Gyökeres now refusing. No, Sesko is obviously looking more and more likely for Arsenal, but the latest from Gyökeres is that Sporting have reached out to Gyökeres to try and clear the air, and he's refused. United are best well away from this at the moment. It sounds like an absolute car crash of a situation. And then, like I said earlier on, Manchester United, even if Gyökeres... So he doesn't go to Arsenal, who looks like they're moving well away from Gyökeres now. Even if he doesn't go to Arsenal, it doesn't guarantee that he goes to Manchester United. And what we're talking about here is, right now, again, he is going to wait it out, Gyökeres. United cannot wait. Apparently he wants to wait out for every single Champions League or major Champions League club to come in with an offer for him. The only one that's anywhere near that at the moment is Juventus. They are on his list. And apparently on that list, they're ahead of Manchester United because they've got Champions League. He doesn't care about anything else. He just wants to play in the Champions League. We need to start moving past Victor Gyökeres. The more and more reports that come out on him, the more and more it is more likely that he will never play for Manchester United and United will never sign him. It's not happening. I don't even know what the City score was, but I'm getting reports through that Ryan Cherki was shit. Oh well, it is his first game. Is anyone bothered about that competition? Long may it continue. Cherki has a stinker. By the way, Liam Delap apparently couldn't pass water in his game for Chelsea the other day. Apparently he was garbage as well. I heard Troy Deeney saying I think he's missed a year out of his development by going straight to Chelsea. It's too big a jump. Maybe United did swerve something there. Maybe they did. Quickly, everybody, as well, in terms of the whole Premier League, in what's going on and big changes, no Boxing Day fixtures. What's everybody doing on Boxing Day? There is no more Boxing Day fixtures in the Premier League this season. Nobody's playing. I thought this morning reading it out, it might have just been Man United and a fixture change on that, possibly. But no one's playing on Boxing Day anymore. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel a bit down and flat about not having a Boxing Day fixture. I love the Boxing Day. It was brilliant. You always had it pinned in on your calendar, didn't you? Boxing Day football. No, apparently not. None this season. So, yeah, it is big changes. Let's get some more comments in. I want to talk on the next story in a moment, which is Mr. Mason Mount and what's happening with him. Let's just see. He came off the bench, Adam. He wasn't great, but he played about 20 minutes. Thanks for that, Lord. I don't give a shit. Honestly, don't care. Like this, Club World Cup, absolute pants. No time for it at all. Napoli is offering to give Sancho a base to restart his career. Let's hope Sancho takes the opportunity and don't let the cash get in the way. If he does, he's dumber than we all think, is he? Well, not really, Don, because he will sit out this year, then get a big signing on bonus next year, and still being paid his highest wage this season. And that's what he's thinking. I explained that before, and I think that's where Sancho's head is actually at now. I do think that he's playing the game perfectly from his agent's point of view. I think that is, again, what he's running the game of football now. It's all on the agents. It is annoying, isn't it? It is. Boxing Day is the best day. I like Boxing Day better than Christmas Day simply because of the football. I think it's miles better. I think the TV's better. I think everything's better. The food, everything. Everyone just chills on Boxing Day. It's after the Lord Mayor show a little bit, isn't it? But I think that's why it's so good. It is. Let's just see. We've got a few more comments in before we move on to that one. Yeah, okay. Let's move on to the Mason Mount situation. I think I briefly touched on this the other day, actually. Mason Mount, apparently now, having seen him play a few games, he's now apparently is the word I'm using here on this one, not good enough for Manchester United, and we're open to taking offers on Mason Mount. If he can stay fit, can we sell Mason Mount? Thankfully, his transfer fee wasn't ridiculously high. Well, I'm comparing him to bleeding the likes of Rasmus Hojlund right now. Mason Mount has got better qualities, I think, than Rasmus Hojlund. I think he's a miles better player. Someone might look at Mason Mount and the age that he is and think that he is a good signing to make. Maybe. I don't know. But Manchester United, obviously we're bringing in 210s, kind of tells you where we're going. We cannot rely on Mason Mount. And apparently he is up for sale. And Man United are open or looking at any offers that come in for Mason Mount now. So that is an interesting one with him. Again, every single player is up for sale, it would seem, for Manchester United, apart from some clearly obvious ones this summer. But Mason Mount, what would Manchester United get for Mason Mount? Let's just say he stays fit, has a good pre-season. Somebody comes in for Mason Mount. What's the price? If you are a club looking in for an attacking number 10 and you're looking at Mason Mount as an opportunity, what is he worth right now? What is he worth? That, I think, right now, someone would bid 20 to 25 million is my opinion on Mason Mount. Just as the security blanket, I think, in being concerned about his fitness, first and foremost. Yes, he's had a good run at the end of the season. He's been fit and available for a few months now, in fact. So, good signs there. And obviously, I would like strength in depth at Man United. If we're talking about getting players off the books, though, and getting players' wages gone, $250,000 a week for Mason Mount is a substantial amount of money to also get off the books. And if the opportunity came around, and Mason Mount did have admirers, and someone did put a bid in, if someone came in with 25 mil for Mason Mount, would I take it? Yes, I would. I think United need just over 30 million, though, to try and break even with Mason Mount. So it was 55 million we paid, something like that. And obviously we've had 2 years of instalments on that now. So if you go through half of that, I reckon it's about 30 million, 33 million. No one's going to buy him, I don't think. But Manchester United now with another player that they don't want because of poor recruitment yet again, another manager. And Ruben has seen enough by the sounds of it. Graham says, I am happy there's no Boxing Day fixture because I am a carer on that day. I can go on the 27th. Graham, quid's in for you, my friends. It's worked out for you. It will work out for a lot of other people because like some people may be stuck like with family, can't get away, can't travel to the game. By the way, Man United's fixtures in the festive period are all at Old Trafford. So we play on the... I think it's Newcastle on the... I think on the 20th we play Aston Villa away. But then on the 27th it's Newcastle at home. And on the 30th, not New Year's Eve, the 30th, Man United play Wolves at home also. And then we're off to Welling Road as the first game in 2026. So, yeah, festive period is very exciting. We've got a poll running right now. Get involved in this, please, everybody. Of the following players, who do you want to leave the most? Woo! Rasmus, Hojlund, Andre Onana, Luke Shaw and Garnacho. There's a mixed bag. We're bringing them in because they've all featured this season for Manchester United and I've played a part towards the back end of the season. So that's why we've done a different type of poll here. Not the obvious, like your Anthony's, Sancho's and Rashford's that just don't feature and do anything for Manchester United. So we've mixed it up a little bit on the poll this evening. But let me know on that one. And Anna is on a landslide win at the moment. As I expected it to be. Grace says, boxing, stop that. Lindelof is a number one of all time greats. What has boxing said? I need to find that. Lindelof is a toilet cleaner by trade. Okay, I agree with boxing on that one then. Got to be a Nana out the door. He has cost us so much last season and the season before. Got to go surely or bring in a new number one and let him have a few cup games. I think that's more than likely what's going to happen, Silverback. I think he is going to be probably still at Man United, but I think there's going to be another goalkeeper next to him. I do. I think that's what's going to happen for United next season. I think that's sensible, to be honest, when you're looking at the way the window's planning out. Like, you may not think it's sensible to have two number ones, but let's be clear on this. Manchester United have overpaid for what is clearly a number two goalkeeper. And that's the standard that Onana is. He isn't good enough to be a number one at the highest level. Yeah, he may be able to go and play for Ajax. Yeah, I know he was the number one at Inter Milan, but when you look through the repertoire of errors there as well, that clearly got to him also, and he struggled there as well. So, again, Andre Onana is a bit of a duck egg. He has got a clanger in him, or 10. He isn't good enough to be a number one at the highest level. And if United want to get back up there, that will be a change that they will make. I think it will be next summer, though. I think he will be gone next summer. And again, all of these transfers from that horrible 2023 summer, when we were bringing in Mount, Hojlund and Onana, I think all of them will have gone in this next transfer window next summer. A year from now, I think they'll be gone. I think if United play it right this season, if we can't get rid of them players, give them enough game time to carry enough value going forward, and then obviously we can move them on next summer when we don't have as much to pay on them. I think that's what we're looking at. And obviously, if you do get back into Europe and we play well this season, all the inflated prices on the wages will kick in. Casemiro will be gone. Obviously, Harry Maguire will be gone. Jaden Sancho hopefully will. Oh, he will be definitely gone. So you don't have to pay them inflated wages. Obviously, then if you can move on the likes of Rasmus, Onana and Mason Mount at that time as well, you don't have to pay them more. You can then bring in new players, then put them on a better structured contract at that point. And I think United, reality tells us we're not in a comfortable position yet because we need better players in. Better players to actually challenge for the Champions League and Europa League places in the league. But I feel like the structure is kicking in, but it needs time. It needs more time. And this is why I don't believe Omar Barada was really convinced that Manchester United could win the league in 2028. That's not doable, I'm afraid. Come on, it isn't doable. And I don't think that anybody realistically looks at what United have got ahead of them and thinks we could win the league. Everything would have to fall into place and some for Man United to get that Premier League trophy in 3 years' time. How bad are Onana's weekly wages? Onana, his wages, I think he's on around about 150 grand a week with bonuses. I'm going to have a look at this now. Okay, Andre Onana's contract at Manchester United. Let's just have a quick look at this and what we would be saving if we moved Andre Onana on. So his base wages at the moment is 120 grand a week, and this is verified. So his base wages is 120, bonuses up to 80 grand, taking him to 200 grand a week wages. I can guarantee you right now that Andre Onana is not hitting them bonuses. I think that's the safest bet you could make, isn't it? Andre Onana getting 80 grand a week on bonuses? Nah, I don't think he's making that mark. So when you break it down, he could possibly be on a potential 10.4 million a year in wages. Without the bonuses, 6.2 a year in wages. He's only on a 4-year contract, Andre Onana. So his contract is up in 2028. June 30th, 2028. So he's going to have 2 years left on his deal at the end of this season coming. So it's 5 then, isn't it? Why have they put 4? It makes 5. Stupid. They've worked that out wrong there in terms of the amount of time he's got left on his contract. But yes, Andre Onana, well, let's just say he's on 120 a week. This is why he this is why he was unhappy and why he came in with his agent all guns blazing to try and renegotiate his contract. Because he's not in the Champions League. He doesn't think he should be losing out on that money. He's not getting his bonuses because we're not hitting that mark or where we need to be. If there's any Man United player that got their bonus this season, I'd be absolutely staggered. I cannot see the club paying bonuses out in our worst ever Premier League season in history. That cannot be the case. Surely not. Anthony Ong, 38 months, a member. Wow, thank you very much. Thanks for the renewal as well, mate. Sancho is toxic. Get rid of him. Hojlund 2. Straightforward there, Anthony. Right in with the comment. Thank you, my friend. Well over 400 likes now, everybody. Thank you so much for giving the video a like. And make sure that you do hit the subscribe button as well, everyone. We want that 90k mark. We're creeping. We're creeping, everyone. We're waiting for that big transfer news to drop, but everybody's waiting in anticipation. You've been absolute stars on these recent live shows, everyone. You've absolutely killed it every single time. There's some great comments coming in. Even some of the abusive ones I do have a good laugh at as well. But my mods are all over you, and they've usually always kicked you out if you try and insult me. But I think I'm fair in what I say and how I break things down. So again, cheers to everybody, everyone, and everyone's comments are their own, of course, and everybody's right. Everyone has an opinion in football. Let's get some more comments in on that note, actually. Adam, we can't wait for a single second, let alone 2028, to throw Onana out the door. We have to hope within him in the team. We have to hope with him in the team. No, it is pure luck, I think. Pure luck. Let's see what we've got here. Onana is on the vape if he thinks he's getting bonuses. Yeah, bad in it. Madness. Absolute madness. Let's see what else we've got in here comment-wise. Yeah, I think most people are reality-wise. I think most of my chat here and these subscribers here on Forever United TV are well grounded and understand what's actually going down. And it's a tough one. It is a tough one right now. But just to go over everything again from the top of the show, everyone. What we're looking at here is now Manchester United actually looking to negotiate a deal with Napoli for Jaden Sancho. But it's going to be difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult. And what we're looking at is Napoli trying to get Man United down. They're going to wait it out, Romano says, and try and get a deal right at the end of the window for Sancho. We know this. The problem we've got with that is United want to move him on quick because Ruben is not going to take Jaden Sancho on the US tour. That's what he wants, according to reports. The same with Rashford, Antony and Garnacho. We need to get deals done. We've got a month to get them players out of the door before United go on the tour. So, bit of time left yet, and there's a lot of negotiations to go on. But what we're also looking at here, I think, is Jaden Sancho's position on this. I think he's going to play it clever. He's going to wait it out. He's going to get his loan that he wants this season, get his full wages, and then free agent gets the big signing on fee for somebody else next season, and then get that money in, which will cover his drop in wages from what he's on now, because he's an absolute superstar in his head. So that's what I think the reality is with Jaden Sancho. Rasmus Hojlund actually has a better chance of leaving for a fee than Jaden Sancho does. believe it or not. Romano updating us on Rasmus' situation, which is that they will be willing to pay a fee into Milan if it is the right price. Sadly for United, it's come a year too soon, and we probably cannot accept that price that Inter are willing to pay. But there is a real option of a loan with obligation to buy at the end of it from Inter Milan. We'll see if United bite on that anyway. And obviously Mason Mount, we discussed Manchester United making their mind up on him and are open to selling him also now as well. Pretty much like every other player in the squad, which you would expect. Let me just see what we've got here. Right, just checking through the other news now, everyone, before we finish up on the show. Let's wrap things up there. There isn't anything else really significant happening as it is. Let's just have a quick float through. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Let's just get to the bottom of it. Yeah, nothing really. Romano again talking there about not saying no to Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano there, he's just keeping everybody on the hook, really, more than anything else. I think Rico Lewis got a red card in that game there, didn't he, for Manchester City as well? Looking at it again. A bit on Ornstein, actually, also saying that the fee for Ekitike isn't going to be the 85 million which has been reported. Manchester United called the agents of Hugo Ekitike in recent days to gain understanding of the situation. Chelsea and Liverpool also heavily interested. That was from Fabrizio Romano. And that is us all wrapped up, everybody. There's nothing else to really report on there. All that's left for me to say is another fantastic stream. Great show, everybody. Thank you so much for all of your contributions. Thank you for your thoughts and comments in the comments section as well. Please do give the video a like on the way out, everyone. Let's get that over 500 live likes. Also, if you could please hit that subscribe button as well if you haven't already. Much appreciated, as always. And I will see you all first thing in the morning. I don't think there'll be any breaking news tonight. I'm going to go and watch a bit of football myself. Some quality football. Kaz playing five-a-side. And yeah, that is our night all done. Thank you, everybody. Mods, great job in the live chat again, as always. Thank you for everyone who put super chats in. Any new subscribers, welcome along to Man United. To Forever United TV. And that is me done. Another long day over. What's tomorrow bring?